On the night of Saturday, May 3, unknown drones launched a massive attack on Russia. Local air defense shot down air targets, causing destruction. This is reported by Russian media. There was unrest in Krasnodar Krai, Rostov Oblast and temporarily occupied Crimea. According to Russians, the attack began at about 1 o'clock local time in Crimea. Eyewitnesses heard from 4 to 8 explosions over Feodosia and Kerch. The Crimean bridge was closed for entry, but there is no official information about casualties or damage. At least 10 explosions thundered over Taman in Krasnodar Krai. Locals report bright flashes and read fires. A private house was damaged. In addition, 5 explosions thundered in the city of Slavyansk na Kubani, another 10 over Anapa. Governor of Krasnodar Krai Veniamin Kondratyev said that on the night of May 3, explosions thundered in Novorossiysk due to a drone attack. 4 people were injured. He told that on the night of May 3, the Black Sea coast of the Krasnodar region was subjected to a massive drone attack. The greatest damage was recorded in Novorossiysk, where drone debris fell on residential areas and a grain terminal. According to Kondratyev, 4 people were injured in the city, including 2 children. Falling debris damaged 3 apartment buildings and 3 storage tanks at a grain terminal. Firefighting efforts are ongoing. Russian media write that public transport is not working in Novorossiysk after a massive attack at night. Local Russian channels wrote about a combined attack on Novorossiysk. As noted, Russian military destroyed unmanned boats and drones, which arrived in several waves. The UAV debris also fell in several nearby settlements, in the village of Taman in the Temryuk district, and the villages of Yurovka and Sabanabalka near Anapa. According to reports, private homes were damaged there, but there were no casualties among the local population. Over the past night, Russian air defense systems eliminated 170 Ukrainian drones over 6 regions of Russia, the Defense Ministry reported. During the past night from 22 to 5 o'clock, air defense systems on duty destroyed and intercepted 170 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles of the aircraft type, the department wrote on its Telegram channel. They specified that 96 UAVs were destroyed over the territory of the Republic of Crimea. In Krasnodar Krai, air defense forces shot down 47 drones. 9 UAVs were neutralized in the skies over Rostov Oblast, and 8 over Bryansk and Kursk oblasts. In addition, 2 drones were destroyed in the airspace of Belgorod Oblast. Russian special services have received instructions to organize terrorist attacks in several Russian oblasts during the May 9 celebrations aimed at blaming Ukraine and mobilizing the population for war. Inform Napalm International Intelligence Community reported this, citing information obtained from intelligence agencies. Early reports indicate that high-level instructions were given within Russian security agencies to organize terrorist attacks in several Russian oblasts. Cities such as Khabarovsk and Ulan-Ude are being considered. Meanwhile, all forces are being involved in securing the parade in Moscow to ensure it takes place without incident, Inform Napalm reported. The goal is to accuse Ukraine of indiscriminate attacks on civilian crowds, to disrupt U.S. peace initiatives, and to use these pretexts to mobilize additional resources from Russian regions. At the same time, at first they allegedly considered plans for such actions in Moscow itself, but later decided that the situation could get out of control, so they want to try in the regions, away from the federal center, the statement said. Recall, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has declared a 3-day ceasefire in Ukraine on 8 to 10 May to mark World War II Victory Day, as U.S. President Donald Trump's administration decides whether a deal to end the war is within reach. The Kremlin said that the truce will start on May 8 and last through to the end of May 10, adding that Putin ordered the full cessation of hostilities on humanitarian grounds to mark the May 9th holiday celebrating the defeat of Nazi Germany. There was no immediate reaction from Ukraine, which has previously agreed to Trump's proposal of a full 30-day ceasefire. Russia believes that the Ukrainian side should follow this example, the Kremlin said in a statement.
There appears to be no agreement in the Kremlin on the war against Ukraine or the peace agreement. There is a bitter struggle between two opposing factions. Russian political strategist Abbas Galyamov, who previously worked as a speechwriter for the Russian dictator, wrote about this. A clear symptom of discord in the Kremlin is contradictory statements. 3 days ago, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claimed that there could be no talk of U.S. control over the occupied Zaporizhzhia NPP. And on April the 30th, the head of Rosatom declared his readiness to discuss such an option. Clear evidence that there are disagreements at the top, and Putin cannot make up his mind. Here we must keep in mind that Lavrov is a member of the hawkish camp, and Kirienko, who informally oversees Rosatom, is a representative of the technocrats' camp. The former are supporters of escalation, the latter of rapprochement and concessions. Galyamov explained. Russia has been calling the transfer of the Zaporizhzhia NPP to the US science fiction for weeks. But when Donald Trump raised his voice, the Kremlin quickly changed its position. Now, Rosatom has officially declared its readiness to discuss the American presence at the captured plant. Fear of Washington once again proved stronger than all of Moscow's red lines. If on Saturday the head of Rosatom, Alexei Likachev, with pompous confidence called the transfer of Zaporizhzhia NPP to American management non-essential science fiction, today he told the Interfax agency that Russia, it turns out, is ready to discuss the American presence at the station as part of the negotiations on Ukraine. A Russian epiphany has happened right before our eyes. Just recently, Likachev insisted that the Zaporizhzhia NPP is our facility on our territory and Russian citizens work there. However, after the Vatican meeting between Trump and Zelensky, in which the latter, according to Axios, harshly demanded that Trump put pressure on Putin, Moscow's rhetoric has sharply dimmed. It was Donald Trump who first proposed including the transfer of the Zaporizhzhia NPP to the US as a condition for a future peace deal, the Financial Times reported. According to the publication, this requirement is linked to a broader deal between the US and Ukraine on natural resources, which Kyiv is ready to sign today. Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal and the Bloomberg and RBC Ukraine agencies confirm that all key details have already been agreed upon, and Economy Minister Yulia Sviridenko is on her way to Washington. The Ukrainian side, in its text of proposals, directly demands the return of control over the Zaporizhzhia NPP, Kakhovka, HPP, Kinburn-Spit, as well as guarantees for navigation on the Dnieper. And this time Kiev has not only moral, but also technological, political and economic superiority.